There are seasons in life when the company we once cherished seems to fade away, leaving us in what feels like an unbearable solitude. In these moments, it's tempting to ask, why me? Why now? But what if this loneliness isn't a punishment? What if it's a prelude to something extraordinary? The experience of solitude often feels like an unwelcome guest, arriving unannounced and staying longer than desired. Yet within this solitude lies the potential for profound transformation, particularly when viewed through the lens of divine purpose. When God leads someone into a season of isolation, it is not an act of abandonment, but one of careful preparation. This preparation is unique, intentional, and deeply personal, aimed at shaping the individual for a purpose greater than they might presently understand. In these moments, the noise of daily life, its demands, distractions, and constant pull toward outward validation is quieted. What remains is an environment in which clarity can emerge. Without the interference of others' opinions, expectations, or influence, a person is left with only their thoughts and God's voice. It is in this sacred space that God works on the innermost parts of an individual, refining their character and sharpening their focus. Solitude strips away the superficial layers of identity that are often shaped by societal norms or peer groups. Instead, it provides an opportunity to rediscover one's authentic self as God intended. This period of preparation is often misunderstood because it can feel uncomfortable and unfamiliar. Humans are social beings by nature, and the absence of companionship can lead to feelings of inadequacy or rejection. However, this very discomfort is a tool God uses to shift reliance from others to Him. When there is no one else to turn to, He becomes the sole source of strength, guidance, and comfort. This dependence fosters a deeper relationship with the Creator, one that might not have been possible in the midst of constant social interaction. God's preparation in solitude is also a process of revelation. In the stillness, truths about oneself, one's calling, and the divine plan begin to surface. These revelations often come as gentle insights or profound moments of clarity that might have gone unnoticed amidst the distractions of a busy life. It is as though the individual is being invited into a deeper understanding of their purpose, one that requires their undivided attention. This is not a rushed process, for true transformation takes time. Like a sculptor chiseling a masterpiece from a block of marble, God works with patience and precision, shaping the individual into a vessel ready to fulfill His purpose. Furthermore, solitude is a space for healing and renewal. Past wounds, unresolved emotions, or lingering doubts often resurface in isolation, not to torment but to be addressed and resolved. God uses this time to mend the broken places within, preparing the individual to step into the next phase of their life with wholeness and strength. This healing is a critical aspect of preparation because carrying unaddressed burdens into a new chapter would hinder growth and progress. Perhaps one of the most profound aspects of divine solitude is the opportunity it provides for growth in faith. Without the safety net of human relationships, an individual learns to walk by faith and not by sight. Trusting in God's unseen plan becomes a necessity rather than a choice. This trust builds resilience, teaching the individual to rely on the promises of God, even when the path ahead is unclear. It is in these moments that faith is tested and strengthened, becoming a firm foundation for future challenges. The fruit of this preparation may not be immediately apparent, and the process itself may feel arduous. Yet it is in these unseen, quiet moments that God is planting seeds for something extraordinary. The individual being prepared in solitude is often unaware of the magnitude of what lies ahead. This divine preparation is not about immediate results, but about equipping the individual for long-term impact. Whether it is a new calling, an opportunity to lead, or the strength to endure future trials, the season of solitude is a vital precursor to the unfolding of God's greater plan. When God removes certain relationships or leads you into a period of isolation, it is often to realign your perspective. This shift is not merely about seeing things differently, it is about seeing things as He does. Many times, the noise and influence of others cloud your ability to discern the deeper truths about life, your purpose, and your place within His plan. In solitude, God begins to peel back those layers of distraction, teaching you to look beyond the immediate and superficial, focusing instead on the eternal and meaningful. Perspective governs so much of human behavior, how decisions are made, how challenges are approached, and how relationships are navigated. When your perspective is aligned with God's, everything begins to take on new meaning. The goals you pursue, the values you hold dear, and the way you interpret success undergo a profound transformation. What once seemed important status, recognition, or the approval of others fades in significance as your heart shifts toward what truly matters. God uses these moments of solitude to clarify your vision, not for the sake of introspection alone, but to prepare you for a broader influence that requires clarity, focus, and a steadfast commitment to His principles. This alignment often begins by challenging preconceived notions and habits that no longer serve you. Without the distractions of external voices, you are faced with an honest reflection of yourself, your motivations, desires, and areas of weakness. God uses this time to illuminate those areas where your perspective has been limited by fear, pride, or worldly influences. It can be a humbling experience, but it is also deeply liberating. He replaces short-sighted ambitions with a vision rooted in eternal significance, teaching you to view challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and service. God's realignment of perspective is not confined to your inner world, it extends outward, reshaping how you see and interact with others. Relationships, once defined by convenience or mutual benefit, are re-examined under the lens of divine purpose. You begin to see people not as competitors or mere acquaintances, but as individuals with unique worth and potential, created in the image of God. This shift fosters empathy, compassion, and a readiness to serve, qualities essential for anyone stepping into greater influence. Through this process, God also teaches you the value of patience and timing. When your perspective is tethered to immediate gratification or worldly benchmarks of success, you may find yourself rushing ahead, trying to force outcomes before their time. In solitude, God instills the understanding that His timing is perfect, even if it does not align with your own. He realigns your focus, not on achieving quick results, but on cultivating faithfulness in the present. This mindset allows you to steward small responsibilities with care, knowing that each step is part of a larger, divinely orchestrated plan. An aligned perspective also equips you to face challenges with resilience and grace. When you see your circumstances through God's eyes, difficulties become opportunities for refinement rather than reasons for despair. This perspective allows you to approach trials with a sense of purpose, recognizing that even pain and struggle are tools in God's hands. This resilience is crucial for anyone called to lead or influence others, as it inspires confidence and trust in those around you. As your perspective shifts, so too does your sense of accountability. You begin to understand that the influence God entrusts to you is not for personal gain but for His glory. This awareness fosters a sense of humility and responsibility, ensuring that your motives remain pure as your platform expands. It also instills a readiness to embrace the unknown, trusting that God's plans are far greater than anything you could conceive on your own. Through this realignment, God ensures that when the time comes for your influence to grow, it will be rooted in wisdom, integrity, and a clear sense of purpose. This is not a rushed process, but one that unfolds with precision and care, shaping you into someone who can carry the weight of influence without losing sight of the one who entrusted it to you. When life becomes filled with people, noise, and constant activity, it can be easy to lose sight of your true purpose. The voices around you, though well-meaning, often project their own expectations, opinions, and desires onto you. These can subtly steer you away from the unique calling that God has placed on your life. When He orchestrates a season where relationships seem to dwindle and distractions fade, it is not to isolate you in despair, but to recalibrate your focus on the work He is doing within you and through you. Distractions are not always overtly harmful. Many are simply the byproducts of a busy life. Social obligations, career pursuits, and even friendships can consume so much energy that little is left for introspection and communion with God. These good things can inadvertently become obstacles when they occupy a space meant for divine direction. God, in His wisdom, sometimes clears these distractions to make room for something greater: clarity about who you are and the purpose He has designed for you. This refinement process is not meant to punish but to prepare, ensuring that your priorities align with His. Purpose requires both discovery and development. In the absence of distractions, you gain the space to reflect deeply on your passions, talents, and the unique ways God has equipped you to contribute to His kingdom. Often, these revelations come not in grand moments, but in the stillness of solitude, where God speaks in ways that are profound yet gentle. He begins to highlight the areas of your life that require pruning, habits, mindsets, or relationships that no longer serve His purpose for you. This pruning may feel like loss at first, but it is an essential step in fostering growth and fruitfulness. This refining process also brings with it an increased sensitivity to God's voice. Without the competing noise of external influences, you can hear Him more clearly, discern His guidance more accurately, and respond with greater confidence. This is vital because fulfilling your purpose often involves stepping into the unknown, where trust in God's leading becomes your anchor. He uses these quieter moments to prepare your heart for the weight of your calling, ensuring that your foundation is built on Him rather than the shifting sands of human approval. As distractions are removed, your understanding of purpose deepens. Purpose is not merely about achieving goals or accomplishing tasks, it is about embodying the character and mission of Christ in all that you do. This understanding transforms the way you view your time, resources, and relationships. Instead of seeking validation or success as defined by the world, you begin to prioritize what aligns with God's eternal plan. This shift not only clarifies what you are meant to do, but also strengthens your resolve to pursue it, even when the path is challenging or unclear. In the absence of distractions, you also gain the opportunity to strengthen your relationship with God. This intimacy becomes the wellspring of your purpose, providing the wisdom, courage, and endurance needed to carry it out. The clearer your connection with Him, the more attuned you become to His desires for your life. This connection fosters a sense of peace and assurance, even in the midst of uncertainty, because you know that your steps are being ordered by the One who holds all things together. God's refinement process also sharpens your character. Purpose is not just about what you do, but about who you are becoming in the process. As distractions fade, you are confronted with areas where growth is needed, whether it's patience, humility, or resilience. God uses this season to mold you into someone who can steward your calling with integrity and faithfulness. This internal transformation ensures that when the time comes to step into greater opportunities, you are not only ready but also able to reflect His glory in every aspect of your life. This refining work is not always comfortable, but it is always intentional. By removing distractions, God creates an environment where you can focus wholeheartedly on what matters most, His will for your life. This clarity and preparation are essential because the fulfillment of your purpose often involves serving others, impacting lives, and advancing God's kingdom in ways that require both conviction and surrender. Through this process, He ensures that your purpose is not only discovered but also lived out in a way that brings lasting significance and joy. In seasons where friends seem scarce and loneliness feels overwhelming, it's easy to believe that you are abandoned or forgotten. However, these periods often hold profound spiritual significance. God uses such times to build resilience and deepen your faith, preparing you for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. Far from being moments of purposeless suffering, these seasons are intentional, designed to strengthen your character and draw you closer to God. Resilience is not an innate quality, it is forged through trial and perseverance. When you find yourself in solitude, you are often forced to confront your inner doubts, insecurities, and fears. These moments of self-examination, while difficult, serve as a crucible where your faith is tested and refined. God allows you to face challenges without the immediate comfort of human companionship so that you learn to rely on Him completely. This reliance develops a strength that cannot be shaken by external circumstances, a resilience rooted in the assurance that God is always with you, even when others are not. In these lonely seasons, your faith is stretched and expanded. Faith grows not in the absence of struggle, but in the midst of it. When you have no one else to lean on, you are invited to lean entirely on God. This deep dependence fosters a trust that transcends understanding as you learn to believe in His promises, even when the evidence around you seems to suggest otherwise. You discover that His provision is sufficient, His timing perfect, and His presence unwavering. This kind of faith cannot be developed in comfort, it is cultivated in the tension between longing and trust. Such times also provide an opportunity to reassess your foundations. Loneliness strips away the distractions and dependencies that can cloud your relationship with God. When you no longer have the constant input of others to shape your decisions or validate your worth, you are left with the question, who am I in Christ? This question drives you to seek your identity not in the opinions of others, but in the unchanging truth of God's Word. As you root yourself in His love and purpose, you emerge from this season with a stronger sense of who you are and what you are called to do. Building resilience through loneliness also prepares you for the work God has ahead. Leadership, influence, and service often require a fortitude that can only be developed in solitude. The ability to stand firm in your convictions, to persevere through setbacks, and to maintain hope in the face of adversity are essential qualities for fulfilling God's purpose. By allowing you to experience loneliness, God equips you with the strength and endurance needed to navigate future challenges with grace and courage. Moreover, these seasons refine your ability to empathize with others. Experiencing loneliness yourself deepens your compassion for those who feel isolated or unseen. God often uses your struggles to prepare you for ministry to others, enabling you to offer genuine understanding and support. Your pain becomes a bridge that connects you to others in need, turning what once felt like a weakness into a source of strength and blessing. Through loneliness, God also demonstrates His sufficiency in a tangible way. When you feel the ache of isolation, His presence becomes more evident and precious. He fills the void left by human relationships with His perfect love, teaching you that His companionship is more satisfying than anything the world can offer. This deepened relationship with Him becomes the anchor that sustains you, not just in lonely times, but in all seasons of life. Loneliness, though painful, is not purposeless. It is a season of preparation, a time when God builds resilience and faith that will sustain you for the journey ahead. This process is transformative, taking you from a place of dependence on others to a place of complete trust in God. As you emerge from this season, you carry with you a strength and faith that can face any challenge, rooted in the unshakable foundation of God's love and purpose for your life. Seasons of isolation, though often challenging, carry within them the seeds of profound redirection and transformation. When your social circle dwindles and the familiar support of friends is absent, it may be that God is clearing away distractions to reroute your life toward a new purpose. Isolation is not an end, it is often the beginning of something greater. It is a divine pause, a recalibration of your path that prepares you for opportunities you may have overlooked or been unable to pursue while surrounded by the noise of constant companionship. In moments of stillness, you are compelled to listen more attentively to the whispers of God's guidance. When friends and social engagements no longer occupy your time, you are left with the space to focus on what truly matters. This solitude allows for clarity, enabling you to discern where God may be leading you. It is in these quiet times that you are most receptive to His voice, unencumbered by competing influences or opinions. He uses isolation to speak directly to your heart, planting visions and dreams that align with His will for your life. Such seasons often reveal areas of your life that need change or realignment. The absence of others forces you to evaluate your priorities, habits, and goals with an honest lens. You begin to see where you have settled for less than God's best, or where you have been pursuing paths that no longer serve His purpose for you. This period of introspection can be uncomfortable, as it may require letting go of familiar routines or ambitions. However, it is through this process that God redirects you toward opportunities that are better aligned with His plan for your growth and fulfillment. Isolation also fosters creativity and innovation. Without the constant input of others, you are free to explore new ideas and possibilities. God often uses these times to stir your imagination and inspire you to think beyond the boundaries of what you previously considered possible. Many of the world's most impactful contributions, whether in art, science, or ministry, have emerged from periods of solitude where individuals were able to focus intently on the work God had placed before them. In the absence of social distractions, you may discover hidden talents or passions that have been lying dormant, waiting for the right moment to be unveiled. Through isolation, God also opens doors to new relationships and opportunities that better align with His purpose for your life. The loss of certain friendships, though painful, can be a necessary step in creating space for connections that will encourage and uplift you in your journey. Sometimes the people who once accompanied you are not meant to travel with you into the next season. God may be preparing to introduce individuals who will support and challenge you in ways that propel you toward your calling. Similarly, the solitude you experience can lead you to opportunities that were previously obscured by the busyness of your social life. In the quiet, you are better able to recognize and seize these moments of potential. This redirection is not just about external opportunities, it is also about internal transformation. Isolation is a time for God to refine your character and align your heart with His. As you relinquish control and trust Him to guide your steps, you develop a deeper faith in His sovereignty and timing. This trust becomes the foundation for the boldness and courage required to embrace the new directions He places before you. What may initially feel like a season of loss is, in truth, an invitation to grow and step into a greater purpose. When friends are absent, and you find yourself navigating life alone, it can be tempting to despair. Yet this isolation is often God's way of moving you towards something extraordinary. By removing the safety nets and familiar comforts of companionship, He encourages you to depend on Him fully and to embrace the new path He is setting before you. While the process may feel uncertain, the opportunities and transformation that result are a testament to His perfect plan. Through isolation, God redirects your life in ways that you could never have imagined, leading you to a deeper understanding of His purpose and a richer experience of His blessings. In conclusion, the absence of friends and the loneliness you may feel are not signs of abandonment, but signals of transformation. It is in these moments of solitude that God works most profoundly, shaping your character, deepening your faith, and preparing you for a greater purpose. He uses isolation to draw you closer, refine your spirit, and guide you toward opportunities and relationships that align with His divine plan. While the journey may feel uncertain or painful at times, trust that every step is part of a much larger masterpiece being crafted by the Creator's loving hands. As you navigate this season, lean into the truth that God never wastes a moment of your life. The challenges, the quiet, and even the tears are not without purpose. They are laying the groundwork for something extraordinary, something bigger than you could imagine. Your isolation is not an end, it is a beginning. Good luck on your journey of discovery and growth. May you find strength in faith, clarity in the quiet, and hope in the promise of God's unfailing love. Thank you for listening, and may His blessings guide and sustain you every step of the way.